Today we're going to talk about a novel about a murderer in time. How can I save myself? Like my channel, please click subscribe. Thank you very much. Then came fiction time. I traveled into a novel with a murderer outside the door. Knowing in advance that 3 days from now a murderer will go on a killing spree in the apartment. The murderer boldly left notes in my room, indicating that I was his favorite prey. I look at the crumbling front door, the decaying wooden windows, the huge closet, the drain in the toilet, and I call the renovation company with my backhand. Come on. I set up the room as a bank vault, and I lose if the murderer gets in. After entering the story, I tried to call the police or leave the apartment, but all failed, and there seemed to be an invisible force preventing me from doing so. I felt down for a while, but quickly recovered, and after making sure I had enough money in the bank, I called 5 decorating companies. If I can't get out, the murderer can't get in. This is a flip and flip of the mystery novel. The protagonist around everyone is not trusted. The murderer is looking at the apartment wondering. The neighbors of the same building, come to play friends, each have a bad idea. The novel stops when the protagonist discovers that everyone is lying, and stops at the most wonderful place to decrypt. At that time, I could not help but scold the author would really be appeasing, and at this moment, I would like to get into the author's head and ask him what the truth is. But there's no point in thinking about that now. I can't deal with murderers and neighbors and friends, but I can deal with this very low security house, which the renovation company paid the most money for, and required to be replaced in 1 day with the highest level of bank vault. However, this person is very suspicious, and has read a lot of thriller and mystery novels, and this set of murderers is likely to pretend to be decoration workers, leaving monitors or secret doors and the like without the protagonist's attention. So I went straight to 5 decorating companies from all over the place. For example, the gates are jointly completed by people from companies A and B, and monitored by RC and A employees. And even if it does, I'm gonna be there to keep all 5 companies from going behind my back. When installing windows, the order of replacing windows is installed by employees of C and D, and A and E are responsible for monitoring. Each time, the order is decided by lottery by me, which reduces the possibility of employees of the 2 companies knowing each other. In this way, the door, windows, floor, ceiling, and sewer of the house were all changed to the specifications I required, and the wardrobes hidden in the bedroom, as well as the beds with huge gaps between them and the ground, were all thrown out and placed on a mattress, and I could still sleep. You think that's enough? Of course not. I called the police, not to report another murderer, but to ask them to look for hidden cameras or hidden people in the room. 2 police officers driving a police car, only to check their alarm numbers, and when they can match them on the internet, ask them to start checking. After checking that there was no problem, we escorted 2 policemen out of the house. It seems safe, but it's not enough. That's not enough. I've also had cameras installed at the door. Friends who often read mystery novels know that surveillance is easy to be manipulated by people. In order to prevent the murderer who may mix into the staff to fool me with fake videos, I want to find a decoration company. I found 9 security surveillance companies, 6 comprehensive invisible cameras installed in my door. Of course, except for the 4 people, including me, no one else will know their exact location. I divided the 9 monitoring companies into 3 batches. Each batch of 3 companies let them to install the monitoring, also 1 installation, the other 2 supervision. Before they installed, I specially pulled the face of everyone to prevent the decoration workers before friends from mixing in. After all, this is a mystery novel, often has a routine. The location is designated by me. I personally stare at the employees after they hit and send them to leave, and then find the next company. Each batch of companies would not know the location of the previous batch, so I told the second batch of employees where to install, hid inside, and supervised them through surveillance. 9 companies with 6 cameras, no dead ends in front of my door. You think that's safe enough? That's not enough. What if the murderer, after trying so many times, finds he can't get into my apartment and, in a fit of rage, sets it on fire, so I got 3 other decorating companies to put fire extinguishers on the ceiling, which would spray water on the ceiling if there was a fire, but that alone wouldn't be enough to fight a building fire, so I called the fire department, and the apartment was cleared of anything flammable or explosive. I bought 5 more fire extinguishers, 3 gas masks, and a Shenzhen stock exchange from the fire department, just in case the fire hazard was cleared. You think that's enough? It's not even close. If I make this much noise, the informant in the shadows will notice. So before the renovation, I put up a cordon in front of the door, put up a curtain, and even if they knew I was preparing, there was nothing they could do. Those guys couldn't move anywhere else, but knowing I had a smoke alarm and gas, they could have done something to me here. If the smoke alarm is triggered, a lot of water will be released. What if they block the door or window at that time, and the water inside the door becomes more and more, and I drown? Don't laugh at me. Surviving on oil is a crazy idea, so I just bought 20 oxygen tanks, and even if my room does flood, I can live for 48 hours with them. And look at all this. You think it's enough? How is that possible? Although the house is already solid, there is no food in it. What if the murderer is very patient and blocks me for 10 days and half a month? What do I eat? What would I drink if a murderer cut off my water and electricity? How do you play the tablet? Build yourself a golden cage, then starve yourself to death or choke yourself to death, the dumbest way to die. Use flour, vegetables if a number of various daily necessities. Buy 3 months of medicine, cannot be less. Bottled water should also be, in case of a contingency. I also bought 3 cauldrons and 17 kinds of water-grown vegetables without bothering the delivery man. I moved back to the room alone. The room was full. I was tired and sweating, but I did not rush to lie down, turn on the metal infrared detector, and help the purchase of things one by one sweep. What if a loading worker in the city or a delivery worker gets mixed in by a murderer? What if I'm moving my stuff, and the neighbors put something they shouldn't? Luckily, after I checked everything was safe. The solar generator is installed in my second bedroom, the same as the door decoration. I found 4 different electrical companies to help me install the indoor solar generator. As long as I use less, the solar generator can still supply my daily needs. In case the solar energy fails, I bought 3 sets of the same power generation equipment according to the installation specifications. After sending the workers, I checked the generator overnight. Make sure there are no special numbers, puffiness, no monitors or bugs, and when I get out of the house after a short break, you think I'm safe because I have a solid house and plenty of food. It's not even close. Friends who read suspense novels should know that the signal blocker is a very critical tool, and the murderer can make the hunting point become an information flash, so I specially went to the camping shop and bought 2 satellite phones. I've seen a killer play inside a door, and a backhand is a warning. In addition, most of the fear in this novel comes from the lack of force, so the baseball bat, the machete to kill the pig, the sickle, the explosion-proof shield, the explosion-proof fork each, and the chainsaw is not bought. Cold knowledge. Now many chainsaws have safety protection. Once contact with clothing fragments or human tissue, automatic power off. The critical moment is not good. Pass. These are just in case. Less than special circumstances I will not use. You think that's enough? No. When there is a situation that science cannot explain, metaphysics is often needed in case the murderer is not human. I went to 10 temples and Taoist temples to find the presiding officers and Taoist chiefs, each with 100 axes and a supply of thousands of axes. But this is not enough. If non-human murderers are not in China to defraud the jurisdiction of these Buddhas, I am afraid it will not make much difference. So the cross, garlic wholesale 10 kilograms, even if the murderer is really a foreign ghost, I can kill him. All the things were transported home and tested one by one with the detector, and then I put down half of my heart, found the tablet, and downloaded dozens of TV dramas and thousands of books, especially The Legend of Zhen Huan, which I love, and the other half of my plays were also put down. Spiritual food is indispensable. After everything was put away, I drew the curtains and slept on the mattress all afternoon. The night is getting dark, the murderer is coming, the alarm clock rings, I opened my eyes, looking at the headlights, still a little confused, slow for a few seconds to remember that I have to wear a mystery novel. I got up and scratched my head, saying that the symbols I had bought in temples and Taoist temples before, security doors, windows, curtains, kitchen toilets, toilet mirrors, toilets, mattresses, weapons I bought back, floors, ceilings, as long as I could think of, were all stamped with symbols. In case I find a murderer pretending to be in the account or in the staple food, I paste at least 2 different kinds of rod on everything, so as to eliminate the possibility of being attacked. Witty as me, really too smart. After these, hungry for an afternoon of stomach protest, I have packed dozens of different dishes from the deli, put them in the microwave oven, ding for a few minutes, steaming fish, fragrant shredded meat and rice on the table. I swallowed a mouthful of water, very hungry, but not in a hurry to eat. From the bag in the pharmacy took out a few test strips after one by one, to make sure that there is no problem with these cooked food, then rest assured to move chopsticks, rice with fish, fragrant shredded pork, with the legend of Zhen Huan at hand, simply not too happy. A message popped up on the top tablet: Miss Girl, guess where I am? Picture I came to your house. Surprised? Not surprised. My chopstick hand paused, then I opened the message and continued eating. Although this short story was only half updated before I arrived, from the previous plot, I vaguely guessed that the main character's best friend should not be human. Bestie can do it twice: save the protagonist in a big murderer, and see through a lot of neighbors' lies, pull the protagonist back from the brink of death. The protagonist trusts her very much, but when they hide in a small space to avoid the murderer, the shadow of the bestie falling on the door panel suddenly becomes very scary. He is shocked to stare wide eyes, but does not dare to make a sound. The novel came to an abrupt end here, this time I wherein it is possible to see what the end of the novel is, whether he is a man or a demon or a ghost, cannot enter my house. Think of here, I had a hiccup, full, can watch the play. Just open all the surveillance video, Bestie Small One's message and pop out. Bestie Small One, Ween Wen, so strange I just came in, the building management suddenly locked the door. You do not know the downstairs light is broken, dark, suddenly emerged with a camelback. How scary. Bestie Small One sent a photo. The hall on the first floor is dark, only the safety indicator vine put green light. The camera was pointed at the gate, where a man in a raincoat, carrying his back deep, almost at a 90-degree angle, was holding a thick chain in a loop around the gate. The man turned his back to the lens, facing the glass of the door. It seems that he did not find the person who took the photo secretly. Can enlarge the picture in the reflection of the glass. Clearly can see my wife is staring at the small one who took the photo. I put my phone away a little bit, and even though I've only been here for 3 days, I still recognize the face of the floor downstairs. He was a young man, and now he's an old man, and it looks like the murderer has got in. BFF Small Best scared to death. I was sending you a message, and the building manager suddenly turned and asked me what I was doing just now. You don't know how ugly she is, Bestie Small One. I don't want to deal with her. She grabbed my hand directly. I angrily said to report her. She also did not listen, said I am not a resident here. Let me get out, and then will pull me out. I said I was looking for a friend. She asked your room. I said she would let go. Really angry me, Ween Wen. You must complain about this building management, let their company pay her a fine. I had to look at the messages of my girlfriends one by one. There is no plan to reply. Bestie Small One. But very strange this person asked your room number. Suddenly very disgusting smile. Said I will personally go. Tao sister let us never report him. I so ugly. Still have the courage to ask after sending this message. There is no news on top. I wonder, what did this bestie do for me? The demon girl Xiao Wan. That person is wrong. She has a good heavy bloody question, and I also saw a lot of blood in the building management dormitory. Bad. He found me steady. Open the door to save me. My room is on the 4th floor. Just in the mobile phone to look away from the monitoring. See Xiao Wan. Panic ran up. Perhaps because was scared, in the blink of an eye he was at my front door helping. Through the heavy door came a vague sound, followed by a long shriek. Through the monitoring, I saw what seemed to corrode Xiao Wan on the door, so that she suddenly popped open from the door. At the same time, black smoke rose from the house of enchantments above the door. Oh, it seems that Bestie is not a person, the government is really good to use. I am not afraid of these. A few more times will not work. Anyway, I have a sack. Directly to Bestie Senda Ash. Bestie June, let me ask you, is there something on your door? It's killing me. I don't have it. Bestie Xiao Wan, then why am I in so much pain? You know what, forget about that. You open the door for me. There's something wrong with that building manager. I'm worried about you. I'm not opening it. Bestie Xiao Wan. What? Suddenly there was a sound downstairs, very loud, as if someone was chopping bones. Bestie, more urgent, keep sending me messages. Bestie Small Wan, open the door, that person really has a problem, I am so afraid. We stay together is not good. I'm not good. Bestie, Xiao Wan, what do you mean you leave me alone in a dangerous place? Are you still my friend or not? I'm not anymore, and when you have time to stay at my door, you might as well find yourself a place to hide. Bestie seems to be angry with me. Through the monitoring, her face is distorted, the physical sense of distortion. He stared at a piece of my room door, eyes with resentment away. At the same time, someone from the owners group sends a message. 603. What's going on? Who chops bones at night? Is there any virtue? The building management does not care about the 504, that is, it does not know what to spend so much money for, and it does not work at the key time. 201. I'm not going to pay the next installment of the property fee. The group has all the ridicule and threat to the building management. After a while, the building management appeared. The building management, sorry everyone, it is my fault, I have deeply reflected. Then he posted a picture of a young man's head being cut off and placed on the chopping board, with a kitchen knife draped in the middle of the bloody head of the photo, which is indeed a deep reflection. The training is quiet for a moment, and the moment is restless. 603. What do you mean? Prank? That's out of line. I'm filing a complaint against 504, 8 house manager. You're done. Call my kid. I'm done with you. 201. Fuck, that's a real photo. Building manager smile, is my consideration step, now I want to apologize. 603. The first 504, the second 201, the last one in this order. We do not have an opinion, no one in the group to speak. Strange, it is too strange. See, the group of people are beating drums in the heart, a kind of unspeakable fear. At this time, the building management and suddenly sent a message. The building management, oh, yes, almost forgot 404 residents, just scared your friends, very sorry, Mr. Wu, you there, 404 residents is me, did not expect that the more dangerous is still behind.